Alrighty, they should be on. So, hi everybody who's watching the stream. This is kind of a throwback to when I used to run games here. I'm Matt. This is a special Mass Effect. I kind of cobbled together this game myself, so it's somewhat untested. So if anything weird happens, it's probably my fault, unless Mitch does it.
It's Mitch's fault.
Yeah,
Always
Mitch's
Mitch's
fault.
We could just blame him. It's okay.
Please
Well-
refer to me as my character's name.
You
Henceforth.
you told me your character's name once. In fact, that's what we're getting around to.
It's Shrek.
We're going to introduce our characters. So, starting from the top of the list of people, let's go make sure that is Anne. Okay, good. Anne, if you could introduce yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Anne Stickney. I am playing Kita Io, who is a Drell adept. She is working for the Citadel Defense. Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
The Citadel Defense Task Force or something like that?
Citadel Defense Force, yeah.
Citadel Defense Force. She's been sent there by the Hanar, who, because they aren't really very good at security themselves, have decided to send some Drell representatives to go take care of things. So she's one of those representatives. And that's it.
Okay, Corey.
Hey, I am playing Riley Nezram, human Vanguard, who is just really itching to let loose. He's very kinetic. He doesn't like to stand around for very long, so he's just looking for the next big mess to get into.
Okay, Joe.
Greetings, and joyous salutations. I am Pexron, an Elcor soldier. I'm very big. I carry lots of weapons. I am here to make sure things are safe.
Liz.
Hello, I am Rin Dalla, and I am a Quarian infiltrator working with CSEC, out to prove that Quarians can stand their own in this galaxy.
And finally, Mitch.
Me Shrek. Me like to kill.
Well said, Shrek. So,
Oh my god, somebody punt the Vorcha out the airlock.
No. Don't do this.
So we start off 2 hours from now with the screaming. It's very loud. It's very high pitched. There's explosions everywhere. All around you, there are dead Batarians, and the noise is ungodly. This is very loud. That's filling the air. It's impossible to think or even see through the smoke. There's one of your crewmates' body parts strewn all about in front of you, but you can't even tell who it is. And you flash back to 8 hours ago, when you were standing on the promenade in the Citadel, waiting for the elevator to lead you up to the council chamber. It's very rare that anyone gets summoned to the council, much less an entire squad of Citadel Defense Force members. You all know each other by reputation, especially the lone Vorcha in CSEC, who is practically an aberration amongst his people, because for a Vorcha, for one thing, he's wearing full armor. For another thing, he didn't kill anybody today, which is pretty rare for a Vorcha, you have to admit. Yes, always yet. As the elevator goes up, it's taking a long time. They've got some kind of refurb in on the elevators, but for right now, they're still pretty slow. The Citadel elevators, they're kind of notorious for being slower than you'd expect. But then again, they do travel massive distances. So after about 3 minutes of standing around in an elevator, listening to incidental news reports, like one news report is about how there's a human colony out in the Skrillian Verge that has apparently been attacked. This seems to keep happening. The elevator doors open, and you are in the Citadel chamber. There are the usual component of guards. There's a Solarian waiting at the doors as they open, and he inclines his head to you. He's wearing the uniform of an STG officer, a Solarian tactical group. They're sort of the inspiration for the Spectres. Like, the Solarians had their special tactics group before the Spectres existed, and the Spectres were to some degree modeled after them. He inclines his head and goes, "This way, they're waiting for you," and begins walking towards the council chambers. You all follow because, really, why wouldn't you? That's why you're here. And within a few minutes, you're brought to the council chamber. Instead of the full council, however, there's only 2 members, the Asari and the new human counselor. The human counselor, Counselor Anderson, straightens up when he sees you and goes, "We're glad you could be here on short notice." The Asari inclines her head and leaves, leaving you alone with the human counselor.
Is there some kind of problem?
You could say that. I won't beat around the bush. This is my last act as a member of this council. I'm resigning my commission and heading back to Earth, where I'm resuming my work as an admiral. But this took precedence over my departure. He turns to the Solarian. Major Kirhe, if you would. Kirhe steps forward. Approximately 12 hours ago, our spy on Kershara, the Batarian homeworld, reported that there's some kind of disturbance on the planet. There's been significant power loss to multiple cities. Their government has issued a statement that everything is fine, but they're not making any further announcements. And all off-world traffic has been suspended. The planet's on lockdown. At approximately 2 hours before this event, and he clicks a thing on his Omni Gauntlet, and a holographic display comes up displaying the planet Kirshara and displaying a spot on the planet. This place here went thermographically super active. This is a research facility known as the Belly. In Batarian, it's the word Kadal. We don't know why it's called that. We haven't been able to get much inside or out of the place, but our observational craft noticed that it is now drawing enormous reserves of power. Approximately 45% of the planet's total power output, some 1.75 terajoules a second, is going into that facility.
Do we know what's in the facility? Or is
No
it just
idea.
research?
We don't know. It's their top secret. They've killed people before they let them speak about what's in
Who
there.
have they killed?
Several agents that we had working for us, several of their own people, a reporter from the independent Star Network News.
Do you think it's a weapon?
We don't know. We have no idea what it is, but we do know that it's using so much power that they've grayed out several of their own cities and they've blacked out the whole planet. This is the Batarian homeworld. Batarians haven't been on peaceful terms with the Citadel in decades. Their last major action was to try and crash an asteroid onto a human-occupied planet. That was stopped by a member of the Spectres, the first human Spectre. We need to know what this is as soon as possible. He turns to Anderson, who then goes, I've arranged for a Tempest-class Systems Alliance ship to ferry your group with Major Karahay in charge. They will insert you onto Kershara, and you will enter this facility by force, if necessary, and it likely will be necessary, and determine what is happening here. If you are caught, we will of course disavow all knowledge of your actions. This is of most priority. Things are happening throughout the galaxy right now. The collectors are apparently been sighted on several worlds. There's increased Geth activity. We need to know what this is now before it becomes something we have to deal with. Does everyone understand? He looks around.
Understood.
Of course.
I incline my
Whatever you say,
head.
boss.
I don't know if Corey's character said anything.
Whatever you say, boss.
All right. Get out to the docking ring 3, Major Karahay. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Captain. I just was promoted. It's fine. Major Karahay will be in charge of the mission until you get to Kershara. And with that, he leaves. He takes his leave of the group. Major Karahay goes, all right, you've got 20 minutes to get down there. If you're going to get anything else done beforehand, go ahead. I will see you there. And he's a little officious. There's something about him that makes you feel like he's maybe a bit of a cloaca. You're not entirely sure. But he takes his leave and heads down to get ready himself. And now your group is now alone in the council chamber.
Well, this certainly isn't how I expected to start my day.
I didn't expect it to end with something that sounds very akin to a suicide mission.
Grim certainty. We will definitely die.
Not me. Very hard to kill.
Happy certainty. You certainly will.
It's a chance to show them what we're worth.
It is.
Chance
It
to
very
blow
much
something up.
is.
There's an adjutant comes up, a member of the Citadel Defense Force wearing a junior cadet's outfit. They sent me to make sure you were led to the ship. He's a small, rather young-looking Solarian.
Thank you.
I look down. Gentle comfort. Please, lead the way.
And I'm Tobus. I'll go this way.
I'll follow after
When
him.
you get,
Kita follows.
Same.
I'm going to assume the whole group follows. As you get to the elevator, it's a different elevator. This isn't the one you came up in. It's more of a freight-looking type thing with a big sliding door. It comes down. There's two Turians waiting inside the elevator. They're armed and armored in CSEC colors. The kid nods to them. They nod to him, and you all get on the elevator.
Are you going with us on this mission? She asks one of the Turian.
No, we just guard the elevator.
Oh, okay.
It's a boring freaking job.
Apologies. I didn't realize.
I forget to kill.
Have you
both
ever
look at
needed to guard the elevator?
Yeah, when the attack happened a couple years back, there used to be 5 of us guarding the elevator.
And they
Would
haven't
they have just-
replaced the other 3?
Nope. Troops are in short supply nowadays.
Staffing shortages are the worst.
Sounds like good incentive not to die.
I don't really need any more incentive not to die, man. The other Turian speaks slightly different voice tone, and you realize with a little bit of shock that that's a female Turian, which you don't see a lot of. Female Turians tend to be in slightly more aggressive combat roles. They don't usually end up as guards. The female Turian's like, yeah, it could be a worse job than this, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the guy who's in charge of the troop task force. That guy's in trouble.
In trouble?
Yeah, getting a job in charge of a task force is basically getting babysitting duty over the generals. It's kind of a job you end up, either you do really well with it or you end up, quitting. I don't know who this Vicarian guy is, but hopefully he's got it, because, man, a lot of BS in that job.
Vicarian?
Yeah, it's the guy who's in charge of the new task force.
All right.
Used to be in CSEC, the first guard says.
Used to
Moving
be.
up in the world.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, it's a lot of work. Elevator finally gets to the level, to the dock level, and opens up. Tobias is like, oh, this way.
Thank you.
And
She follows him.
I turn back to the guard on the elevator. Compassion. Pray duty remains boring. And then I turn and walk after the group.
You're led down the docking ring area until you reach a really fancy-looking ship. You've never seen anything like it. It looks like it's got elements of Turian and Asari design, as well as stuff humans use. It's long and sleek. It has 5 engines on the back, kind of a delta wing shape to it. It's really fancy. It's painted in Systems Alliance colors, and as Major Kirihei steps, he's actually there talking to a human in a pilot's uniform. The human turns and sees your group coming and goes, gestures like, oh, they're here. And Major Kirihei turns to you. Oh, you found it all right. Good. You can go back to your duty now, Tobian. Yes, sir. And Tobian leaves. Good kid.
Very helpful.
Yeah, definitely didn't want to bring him on this. Well, I guess let's get on in. This is Captain Leveller. She's going to be piloting the ship for us, since it's a human ship and I couldn't pilot it to save my life. Captain inclines her head.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to be doing silent running for pretty much the whole trip, so not a lot of amenities will be available. I've gotten quarters for all of you. Basically, it's about a 10-hour flight, but we're going to kind of cheat, so we should be able to make it in 4.
Kind of cheat.
Yeah, the Batarians have a mass relay in their system, but it's shut off to Citadel travel. We're going to slingshot off of a Terminus system relay to get in the back door, so to speak. The risk of this is we might come under fire if their defensive systems are up to date. However, with the power drain on Kirshara, we're kind of gambling on the fact that they won't have the ability to arm their defense systems. It's a risk.
Unless the power drain is their defense system.
Yeah, like I said, it's a risk, but it's the fastest way to get you there.
All right.
Captain gestures to the entryway and then walks in herself.
I duck my way in because I'm very confident that the opening is probably just a tad too small for the Elcor bot.
Actually, it's surprisingly large.
Really?
And as you get in, you see why. There are 2 mechs, Fenrir class, huge, basically right there in the entry. The ship is made to accommodate them.
They're working out all the fun toys.
Agreeable.
This is some heavy hardware.
Agreeable. I will not have to duck.
Kita follows and kind of looks at the mechs with interest. Interesting technology. Are we expected to use these?
No, those are for our other mission.
Other mission.
Yeah, when we drop you off on Kirshara, we need to drop these off on the other side of Kirshara to give you the best possible chance of acting independently and undetected.
Who's on the other side of Kirshara?
The Batarian Slave Association, which is a euphemism for the association they use to run their slavery operation. We're going to attack it.
I just kind
Diversion,
of
huh?
It's a diversion, and it serves to... And she gets a look on her face, and it's for the first time you notice that she has extensive scarring on the right side of her face. Well, let me just say that I've been on the less than gentle mercies end of dealing with Batarian slavers, and leave it at that.
Kita gracefully changes the subject. So, when we discover whatever we're supposed to discover, how do we get out?
That's actually something I can help with, Major Karahe said. If you come this way, and he leads you to the back of the ship has an unusual design. It's based on Turian designs, in that there's a large floating holographic interface of a galaxy right in the center of the deck, rather than in some kind of bridge area or something. And he walks you over to it, and next to it is a large container. He pops the container open, and there's several, like 6 in total, small devices. They look vaguely like transceivers, and he holds them up. These will plug into any Omni tools you have or armor systems you might have. When you find out what's going on, you hit the button, and it will of course translate everything your various surveillance options have recorded. It will tight beam those out. This will tell us that you are available for extraction. At that point, this ship will come in hot. You will have less than a minute to get to someplace on the surface of the planet where we can extract you.
Okay. And if we can't get there?
Then you will be left behind.
Right.
So we get there. Easy.
If you get there, we will be extracting you. He actually gestures, and there are 4 Solarians who come up, and all 4 of them, you can actually, Kia can see this before. They're all biotic. They're giving off a very faint vibes of biotic amps. These 4 will be extracting you. They won't need to land the ship to do it.
Kita gives him a nod.
We will need you to, however, be on the surface so we can target you. Your transceivers will be sending us signals the whole time, so we'll know exactly where you are, but we'll need to be able to see you. So be on the surface. I would recommend not even pushing the button until you're on the surface, but if you have to push it before, get to the surface as soon as you can.
Right. Depending on what we find in there, do you want us to try and disable it?
That's a judgment call you're going to have to make for yourselves, because we don't know what you're going to find. If it's something that's not immediately threatening to this, the various Citadel governments, then leave it. If it is something that is a threat to the Citadel, do what you have to do to stop that threat. If that means disabling it, destroying it, that's something you're going to have to make as a judgment call. We don't know what's there, so we cannot tell you.
Understood.
Now, if you want my personal opinion, absolutely nothing good is there. The Batarians have been reckless rogue state for decades now. They broke away from the Citadel because they didn't like that the Earth humans were settling in the contested terminus systems. And they took their ball and went home, and they've been committing terrorist acts ever since.
Optimism. At the end of this mission, I think they will reevaluate their lives.
Well, that's...
No lives will be left to reevaluate.
Between one of the two of you, hopefully there's a middle ground that will actually get us a successful mission. But in the meantime, I would suggest you go stow your gear, make a use of whatever amenities you can. There's not much. As she pointed out, most of the ship's power is going to the stealth drive. But there is a galley. You can get food. It's both for Dextro and Non. So he looks at your Quarian member. So you'll be able to get something to eat.
Raina inclines her head.
And we've got a special interface system set up so you don't have to open up your helmet. All right. Unless there's any other questions, comments, or concerns, we're going to get underway.
Are we extracting the other side too?
Okay, I don't understand that.
The ones that are attacking the slavers, are we extracting them too?
They're going to be mechs. They're not going to be extracted. They're going to be left behind.
Ah, all right then.
And those things are actually a technology from another terrorist organization, a group of zealots called Cerberus. We liberated them and reprogrammed them. We're going to make it look like Cerberus is the ones attacking.
How noble.
Keep us out of the loop entirely.
Exactly. Well, I have to get up to the bridge.
All right, thank you, sir.
He nods and heads. And again, you're getting that sense, bit of a cloaca, but he heads his way up, leaving you guys to do what you want for the next 20 or so minutes.
Kita goes to find a bunk and throws her stuff on it. She doesn't have much. And then she goes to the galley to get some food while she can.
Okay, at this point, there's like a musical sequence, and like things zoom out to like a map of the galaxy, and then like a small reticule moves over to another planet and zooms in and gets tighter in, and now you're looking at the Batarian home system, and then it zooms in again, and the reticule goes over a planet, and the planet says Kirshara, and there's a side thing up on it, like suddenly it pops up with a bunch of text on the side, and it's talking about how Kirshara is the Batarian homeworld, about how it's, roughly 1.445 AUs away from its sun. It's 0.69% Earth density, that it is an isolated world, that it broke away from the Citadel decades earlier during human expansion into the Terminus systems, that, Kirshara has supported terrorist activities throughout the Terminus systems and the Skyllian Verge, things like that. And then it whooshes in even more, and there's various points on the planet that light up. One of them is like, the capital city. One of them is the slavery, barracks, for lack of a better word. One of them is a industrial site, and one of them is Black Site 1, the belly. That one gets targeted by the reticule and swoops in, and there's now a scene of a shuttle being piloted with like all sorts of green swooping lines as it goes down to the planet. And that repeats several times while the thing goes, many firearms can be used until they overheat. Be sure to be careful of your heating clips. And then, of course, comes up, you're now on the planet with the shuttle behind you. So you're basically in what appears to be a jungle.
What a journey.
That trip was really fast. That was a fast ship.
Yeah. The planet is a jungle. It's extremely hot. It's like 35 degrees Celsius out here. For those of you who are human and know Celsius. It's extremely warm. The air is also very wet. For the Drell, it's actually, this is really not bad at all. This is nice. But for the human and Quarian, this is actually not great. You're not loving this. The Elcors doesn't matter much one way or the other, and the Vorcha are really well adapted to a whole host of environments. So yeah, he also doesn't really take notice of it. But the human and the Quarian are both like, oh my lord, this is not comfortable. As you're looking around, you've known that the place in question is actually quite visible, the belly fort, because there is an enormous series of like dome-like buildings, approximately 3 kilometers away from your current location. The shuttle pilot's like, that's as close as I can get. They've got scanners. They definitely would detect us if we've got any closer. The only reason we've got this close is because this thing's got a stealth suite on it. But I can't mask my emanations any better, so you're going to have to head in on foot.
Understood. Thank you.
Pilot's a heavy-set man in his 50s or 60s. He's like, good luck to you. And he closes the shuttle door, and the shuttle heads up and takes off.
Kita watches it go. Well, I guess the only way to go is forward. They certainly didn't do any disguising of this place, did they?
At this point, I've already started moving a little ways toward the buildings ahead. Not super far, but just a little bit.
Grim.
I don't care where we go, but the next place we will wind up better have climates.
Shrek,
Oof.
make a tech roll for me.
You got it. Oh, damn. That's not great. 4.
Okay, yeah, there's something weird about the you noticed it from your tech armor's sensors. There's something strange about the power emanations coming from that place, but it doesn't say anything to you particularly, just that's not right.
Okay. I'm just going to kind of shrug it off and think, well, yeah, that to be expected, and then kind of keep moving along.
All right, at this point, Shrek has moved a good 30 or 40 feet away from you guys. Is already heading there. Is everyone else following him, or what?
Yeah.
Rin is going in. She's going to kind of come around to the flank, not just follow in a line, but go off onto the flank and kind of look to see if there's anyone there, if there's any hardware she can detect while moving in. Not going too far away, but kind of
make me an edge roll.
Sticking quite with your group. Okay, so this is 2d6 plus my edge.
Mm-hmm.
6 and 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is actually a remarkable lack of people here.
Yeah.
You're not even hearing animals. There's no biosignatures. There's not even the kind of biosignatures you would expect. You don't know what the native life of Kirshara is exactly. You don't know what kind of small creatures it should have, but it doesn't have any. And for most planets with swampy biomes, have a lot of biodiversity in those biomes.
Mm-hmm.
You're not picking up anything.
Just as a quick note, I also do have this little like drone following me. That's
Yeah.
you know, one of my little companions, just for everyone else to note. So Trek have companion.
Your drone, Donkey, turns to you. Mm,
Oh, I knew it. I was waiting. I just kind of move forward, and I don't even make an attempt to be stealthy, because if anything is going to see us and attack us, I'm the largest, most threatening thing. I'm used to being the target, so I don't even try to hide. I just kind of start moving forward.
yeah, it would also be kind of hard to hide the 1,000-pound Elcor in a swamp.
The
Kita's
1,000-pound Elcor with all these weapons strapped to its back.
Kita is going to flank on the opposite side of the Quarian.
Okay.
Okay. And kind of like arrowhead with the Vorcha. That like spear of the arrow. So it's like Vorcha, Elcor, and then Quarian on one side, Drell on the other.
The first kilometer is fairly like calm. Like there's nothing around you. You're traveling through marshy ground, but there's like a kind of crushed down path. I think some kind of vehicle has been tracking around this place. Within the second kilometer, however, both I forget your characters' names. I'm sorry, you just told me them. But the Vanguard and the Adept both need to make mind rolls.
A mind roll? Okay.
Yes.
So 2d6 plus my mind?
Yep.
11?
Okay.
5.
Okay. You don't sense anything, Corey. Your character is like, yeah, this is pretty swampy.
It's too hot.
Yeah, but you definitely do sense something. And what you sense is a exceptionally strong biotic field that you just walked into. It's like stepping into a static field, and suddenly all your hair stands on end, except of course you don't have hair. But it's like pins and needles over your entire body. You're like, what is this? As you pass through it, and now you're inside it, and you can feel it all around you.
I forget, at this point, had they passed me, or was I still?
You're about 30 feet ahead of everybody. Everyone else
okay.
is walking behind you.
So
You didn't specify you sped up.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure I hadn't, or if I had passed through it.
You passed through it, but you're not a biotic.
Gotcha.
Kita kind of holds up an arm and tries to get everybody else's attention, and then like points to her head and gestures at the world at large. As in, there's brain stuff all around us right now.
Okay. Try and make an edge roll to see if you successfully conveyed that, because
Oh boy. Okay, hang on. That'd be a 3.
everyone's kind of just continuing on.
Confusion. If headache, take a stim.
Kita face palms and keeps going, but she's like on guard right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep moving forward.
Like she's actively looking for somebody or something that is doing whatever this thing is.
The second kilometer, you start to hear noises, and at first you're not entirely sure what they are, but you're all relatively well trained, and both the Vanguard and Soldier are specifically combat trained. So after a while, you recognize the distinctive whoomp sounds of Batarian state arms firearms discharging.
All right, at that point, I will look around, kind of like make a motion for everybody to stop. Cautious. There is firefight ahead.
Kita jogs over to join the Elcor. There's something in the air, something biotic. There's a biotic presence here, and it's worrisome because it's very heavy. It's not just one person. It can't be one person.
I kind of glance around at everybody. We may be walking into a...
I suspect we are. The question is it the Batarians against a force we don't know? Or is it the Batarians against the Batarians?
Whoomp! Now you can also hear some screaming.
Rin has pulled out her sniper rifle and is...
Mission.
Well,
The mission is unchanged. Goal still set.
if it's a war, there are plenty of targets.
We should probably find some cover.
How far away was the screaming?
At this point, you'd say maybe a few hundred meters to the north. The only reason you can hear it is because it's very loud, as if there's a lot of people screaming.
Gotcha.
Can we tell what kind of being is screaming?
Well, anybody who wants to do that, I'm going to let you make a presence check.
Okay.
It's not it's not likely, but go ahead if you do really well.
I got a 10.
Okay.
I got a
Anybody
10.
else?
I
So
got
2
an
turns.
8.
All right.
10.
I got a 5. I know that there's screams.
Yeah. Anybody who got like a 10, they sound Batarian. It's hard to tell for sure because, I mean, for many people, Batarians are more of a myth than reality. They haven't been seen outside of, they haven't had a presence in the Citadel for decades, but it sounds Batarian to you.
I start cautiously moving forward and just trying to keep my eyes peeled to make a reaction as necessary, but we got to get in. We have to figure out what's going on there.
Kita's kind of looking for cover as she's making her way forward.
All right, go ahead, and everybody who's looking to be covering themselves, make an edge check, and just tell me if you beat a 7.
Sorry, really quickly, Rossi. With the drone, can it communicate to me in any way, or is it strictly like a combat kind of resource?
You can see through it, so it doesn't have to communicate with you. You can go bloop, and then you can see through it, and bloop, and you don't.
Okay.
Kita got a 9.
Okay.
Riley did not get his check.
Pexron got an 8.
Okay. Anybody who beat a 7, you are covered. You've taken cover successfully. You are moving forward with cover. Anybody who didn't, you didn't.
Okay.
But okay, Mitch, you had asked about the drone. That it's basically just like it's like a real drone that we have now, except under better control and can shoot lasers at people.
Okay.
So you can see through it pretty much as an like, it doesn't even take an action to do it.
Okay. Cool.
After
I'm going to hold on to that for now.
Okay. At this point, you are less than 500 meters away from the structure. You come up to the lip of the forest. Past this point, there's no more, like, the trees have all been cleared. The place it looks like it's been burned around it to clear it of all things. You see what looks to be, at first it looks like there's some kind of pile of vegetation up ahead, but it's a weird color. And that's when you realize it's not a pile of vegetation. It's dead people. A lot of dead people.
What kind of people?
Go ahead and make a edge roll for me.
13.
How am I?
What?
You got a 13?
Rolled an 11 plus 2.
Okay. All right. Cool. They are Batarians. You're being a Vorcha. You've seen and attempted to kill a whole bunch of different people throughout the galaxy. So those are Batarians, but they're wrong. There's something really wrong with them. They've got like puckered marks that are glowing faintly on them.
Puckered marks?
Yeah, it's like they've got like modeling, and it's like kind of blue and glowing, and their eyes are like all staring strangely, like they're kind of devoid of the usual Batarian eye structures. They're just white, and there's a lot of them. There's like easily a couple thousand bodies here, and kind of facing off is like the remains of what was like a squad of close to 100 Batarian soldiers. There's like 3 of them left, and they look to be like that they've walked through hell, and they're like standing kind of around each other, each pointing their weapons forward, but they look to be absolutely frantic.
All right. Does everybody see that? Like, or
anybody who got, like, you got a 13 on your check, so you got you saw it. I'm assuming you're actually, using.
Yeah, I was gonna convey this to the group.
That so yeah, that's what you see. You're basically holding up a pair of binoculars, and you saw it. So
Lots of dead Batarian. Couple left. Don't look like they'll last much longer. Might know something.
Can Kita see them? The pile?
You can see the pile, but it's far enough away that you'd need, like, I'm assuming that to explain his incredible role, he pulled out a pair of binoculars and looked through it. You'd have to do something like that. At this range, you can just see the mound of what looks to be, oh, those are bodies. That's the best you could do.
I look over at Shrek. Did you see what they were fighting?
No. Like I said, few left ahead. Don't look like they'll last long.
We better get down there then. If they know something, we'll make our job a little easier. Plus, we've been standing around for so long.
Or they might just shoot us.
Cautious. I would also believe that they would fire first if they are under attack. We should observe.
Shrek, how many are down there? Alive?
3.
Wood! And it started up again down there.
Move to take a look.
Hey, give me an edge roll.
Oh, that's not bad. It's a 9.
Okay, you can see that they are firing not away from the complex, but towards it. And you see what looks to be something moving very fast, running out of the complex at them. But their movement is all wrong.
How far away is all this happening at this point?
About 400 meters.
And how far away can I send my
Donkey.
He moves 60, basically like 30 meters around, so he wouldn't be there that fast. But you could send him there. His control range is practically unlimited. as long as you're like, able to maintain contact with him.
I
So unless somebody jams him, you should be able to send him a couple hundred. You could send him like 100 kilometers away and still control him.
I turned
Okay.
I turned to everybody. Rage. Time for stealth over. Time to act now.
You're right.
Kita nods.
I hear that and I move.
And I immediately start galloping on all four in a full stride, like into combat.
Okay. You are far enough away that in the time it takes you to get within a range where you could act, you see the things coming out of the structure getting mowed down. But one of them leaps up into the air and comes down on one of the people shooting.
Is it too far away for me to hit with my long range heavy weapon?
Nothing you can do for another. Like it will take you. You're still 400 meters away when this happens.
So the three Batarian that I saw are the ones mowing everything down.
Yep.
Now,
And one of them
okay.
one just jumped on it, and it like jams its face through the other one's helmet, and there's a lot of screaming, and the one who's being grappled discharges his weapon repeatedly into the thing's stomach, and viscous bluish green fluid is spraying out the back. It falls down, but he falls down too, and now there's just two of them left, and they're both firing indiscriminately. And at that point, you guys enter into the range where you can take actions.
Is going to put on her technical cloak.
Okay.
The
Go ahead and
time
make your
for
roll.
stealth is always. Is that an edge roll?
I believe it's tech roll, isn't it? But it might say. It says on your character sheet.
Yeah, it does.
Would I do another edge roll to see if I recognized what the thing that attacked the Batarian was?
You don't recognize it.
You don't? Okay.
You don't have to make an edge roll for that. You've just never seen anything quite like it.
Okay.
But as you look at it, you realize it is basically built around the Batarian body plan. It's got 2 arms, 2 legs, and it's got 4 eyes on its head. But it's like you'd think it was a Batarian, except for what you just saw it do, and for the fact that it's got all that blue glowing crap. Like it looks like it's got veins of blue glowing light material in its body, and it's desiccated. Like it's had all the moisture dragged out of it.
Okay. So as
Is it dead?
Looks to be dead now, but
Okay.
As this is the start of combat, I'm going to open up with Adrenaline Rush because I have to, because it's the start of combat.
okay.
That is plus body, so that's a 13.
Okay, so you can act twice, and you can interrupt any enemy action when they get to go.
Okay, so as I'm charging through, I'm going to open up with a shot from the M100 grenade launcher strapped to my side.
Okay.
Into the horde of whatever things are coming.
All right.
That is an 11.
All right. The attack hits, and it actually does more damage than you were expecting. Like
Okay.
at least 10 of them within range of its strike fall down, but more come out pouring out. There's like 30 of them left at this point.
I keep moving forward, so that's 3 rounds on cooldown. Let me put a dice on that. And if I can get into medium range, I will swap over to the assault rifle. That'll
It's not a problem.
My second shot. That is a 15.
Okay, so you absolutely gun another one down.
And as I scream at, as I'm running past the Batarians, what is going to be the good emotion word for that? Oh man, stoically, fight with us, survive.
Okay, that's you for now.
For now, yep.
Who wants to go next?
I
go.
would just. Oh, go ahead, Ann.
Okay.
I was going to say, how far away are they?
At this point, you guys have gotten into the range where you can use your abilities on them.
Okay, I have to roll a mind roll. And it's a 2, so I can hit one thing.
Yep.
Are they all grouped together?
There's like a group of 30 of them coming out. It's like a mass, almost like a wave of things.
Okay, I'm going
They
to...
got hit by some kind of grenade that blew up a whole bunch of them, so there's like a divot in the center.
I mean, it's an
But the
M100.
rest-
The Vorsha would have known exactly what that is. That's one of their favorite weapons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to, whichever one is closest to the front, I'm going to throw it.
Okay. Roll to see. Wait, your roll was very low, so yeah.
I rolled like a 5, so I can only one target.
Okay.
And
However,
then I have
when
to...
you hit him, the
and
force of it kills him.
Oh,
It rips him in half.
wow.
And all that stuff comes pouring out of it. They're not holding together well. It's like now you understand why there's so many of them dead around. It's not hard to kill one, but they just keep coming. It's the numbers game. But
Kita
he got torn
frowns
apart.
seeing this.
Okay, is there anything else?
Is how close is she to the pile of bodies?
At this point, you're about 60 yards away from the 60 meters away from the two guys shooting, and about the pile of bodies is very large. You could get to it within 100 meters.
Mostly, she's taking a look at it and kind of seeing, is the biotic thing that she sensed, is it coming from
No, it's
the
not
mob?
coming from that. It's not coming from any of that. It's
Okay.
feels to be much stronger and more centrally located.
Okay. All right. She's just gonna kind of like try and find a little bit more cover, and that's it.
Okay, Shrek.
I'm going to send in my drone. Whatever it takes to get it in medium range.
You can get there pretty easily. You can move 30 yards up.
And then I don't know how many it can hit with the cutting laser, but I'm just going to order it to continually do the laser.
Okay.
As long as it can.
Go ahead and make a roll for it.
Roll body. Okay. That would be a 10.
Okay, I'll let it hit 3 with that. 3 of them get like slashed right through, and again, you see what other people have seen, that it doesn't take a lot to kill these things.
It also it sets it on fire.
Yeah, they catch on fire and they get cut in pieces. So there's now 3 burning corpses, leaking fluid everywhere.
So do they look technological?
That's what I was going to tell you. Go ahead and make a tech roll.
Except that's going to be a 9.
There is definitely something technological about them, but it's not technology you recognize. You've not seen anything like this. You've heard rumors, but you've not seen anything like this.
In that case, can I is the drone is independent? Like, can I still do a move?
Yeah,
myself.
The drone is separate from you.
In that case, can I roll edge to see if I can try to because you said hack them? Looks like
you can make an attempt. You can make an attempt.
That's going to be a 9.
You can't hack them.
Okay.
But rolling the 9 tells you they're technological, but in a way that is completely incompatible with anything you've ever seen. Like, you don't know what their operating system is. You don't know if it's VI or what. You do suspect there's something about the fluid that they are secreting. And as you realize this, the body of the one that got attacked and his helmet got crushed jerks, twitches. There's a crunching sound as it gets up, but you realize it gets up. It was face down on the ground, but it gets up and its head twists around so it can face forward with the rest of its body still being pointed in the other direction. And its arms twitch as it brings its gun up and begins to fire at the people it was fighting alongside.
Rin wants to hit it with a sniper shot.
Okay, go ahead.
I keep scrolling away from my character information. I just rolled a 6.
6 is enough.
Okay.
You snipe him. His head was already ruined, so you chose to shoot him through the chest cavity, and stuff comes blasting out the front of his armor, and he drops to the ground again, and now has fallen onto what was his back, except now it's kind of the front.
Oh, that is unpleasant.
Yep.
Did blue stuff fly out of him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Along with most of his internal organs.
Don't let any of them touch you.
Mm-hmm.
Kita says aloud. I mean,
I believe
stating
everyone's
the obvious,
gone.
but yeah.
Everyone's gone. Yeah, but Corey. Okay, go ahead.
I hear her say, "Don't let them touch you," and I immediately put that out of my mind as I charge into the biggest cluster of them that I can.
Okay, go ahead and make a charge roll.
That's 8.
Okay, I believe that means you can hit 2.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make the 2 that you hit with your shockwave as you go rocketing in, both explode. Make another check to see when your charge comes on cooldown.
It's gonna be 3 rounds.
Okay. For this round, you have impervious up because you just charged. So if anything hits you, it subtracts 2 damage, 2 harm from.
So now,
but that's your go. Go ahead.
Quick question. So with these things falling, that triggers the refresh for adrenaline rush, right? Or no?
Yes. Every time something in your group is fighting dies, you can use adrenaline rush again.
Okay, just making sure. I'm keeping track of cooldowns with.
Yeah, gauntlet mobs.
But Corey, do you do anything else?
I don't think I can use a Nova on the same turn as I do a charge.
No, it's
right?
next round.
Yeah. Then can I use a shotgun on the same turn as a charge?
Probably not, but I'm gonna let you.
Then I'm gonna shotgun,
Okay, make the roll.
and it's an 8, so it hits 2 targets.
2 more fall down. You don't, again, they don't seem to be holding together very well, but each time the shotgun blast hits one, they fall apart. Like they spray that stuff everywhere.
It's so gross, mates.
All right, now it is their turn to act. However, somebody has the ability to interrupt.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to interrupt by using my Fight Me to try to get as many of them to target me instead of everybody else that I can.
Okay, go ahead.
And since this is still the first round, it is a +1 on the combat action, which negates my -1. That is a 9, so that is, I think, 3. I can just pick 3 of them that just wind up.
Okay. 3 that were about to attack the Vanguard have turned and are now heading towards you. They move very fast.
That's good. You guys just hear like this bellowing roar of challenge come out of me.
Enraged. Fight me!
Yep, more or less.
3 of them
Bloodlust
are
noises.
now looping towards you. They will reach you next round. They won't reach you this round.
Okay.
However, there are still, at this point, there's still 20 minus those 3, so still 17 within range of Corey.
Only 17?
They will be making a mob attack, so...
Oh, God.
But 5 doesn't hit, so they don't hit you with their various attacks. Actually, they do, but you have -2 harm, so basically nothing hits you that actually does any damage to you. They're like flailing at you with their limbs, but your armor and your biotic field between the two have rendered you completely impervious.
All anyone can hear outside of the scrum is some vaguely unhinged laughing.
And that's their go. The 2 Batarians don't know what to do at this point, but they know who is definitely trying to kill them, so they fire on the ones charging towards the Elcor, but they're not doing very well on aim right now. They both miss.
How far away are they?
Which ones?
The 2 Batarian that are,
From you, they're about, I'd say at this point, 30 meters.
so I can get to them in one turn?
Yeah, next round.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Right now, it's the swarm of bad guys mob go. The 3 that are trying to get to the Elcor don't reach him, so it is now top of the order of the Elcor, because he's probably going to use Adrenaline Rush.
I am absolutely going to re-up Adrenaline Rush, because why not? So that's an 11, so 10 or higher, fully accelerated. So I can do the whole thing again. So we're just going to assault rifle the heck out of another group of these things as I charge forward to try to get up to... I'm going to meet the 3 that are charging towards me and just kind of try to blast through them and continue on towards Corey.
Okay.
That is a 10 on the assault rifle.
Okay.
So I don't know if that does any good. That's what 2 harm?
That guy dies. But that still only hits... Assault rifle only hits 1 target at a time.
Sure. The next one is a 12.
Even more dead. And there's 1 left that you run up to.
Yep. And then that's all I can do for right now.
Okay. Then next up, whoever wants to go.
Anne went first last time, so if you have a move, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me roll. Ooh, 10. No, 11. Okay.
So you can hit up to 5 targets, whatever you do.
Yeah, 5 of the angry mob are suddenly floating in air. Singularity.
You guys see a weird pinpoint of swirling light appear above them, and then it's like it makes a shuddering noise, and they just get yanked up and start orbiting this thing in the sky. They're like being dragged and swept around it. They make a lot of moaning noises, but they can't do anything. They're helpless in the pull.
I don't think that there's anything else I can do other than that, because it's only 1 action, yeah?
Yeah, that's your action.
Okay.
Oh, that is so creepy. They were creepy before, now that's creepier.
Kira looks over at Rin. Wait.
So
Shrek?
I am going to go back to the 2 Batarian. I'm going to grab one and put my Omni Blade up to its throat and go,
Explain! What are those?
He makes a lot of gibbering sounds, but you don't think he wasn't doing well before you grabbed him and put an Omni Blade to his throat. Go ahead and make an edge roll to see if you can persuade him to talk, but otherwise he's probably not capable of it.
11.
Okay. He goes, we don't know. They just came pouring out. There's so many of them. We don't understand anything. Oh, God, that one was my friend.
And I just kind of toss him down and then tell my sentinel to fire again, which is a body roll.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Body rolls.
snake eyes. So 4 total.
Yeah, it misses. It doesn't hit.
All right, then. That's my turn.
All right. There's 3 of you left. Actually, no, there's 2 of you left.
I
So
will
Liz, I'm sorry.
let Corey go for it.
Okay.
Nova. The 7.
You rolled a what?
I rolled a 7 for Nova.
So you hit 2.
4.
Okay. The 4 that you hit all go up. They go up like Roman candles. There's literally like biotic force just smashes from the ground and hits them. Literally just reducing them to like body parts and that fluid, which just goes flying over the rest of them. At this point, you're down to like between the 5 floating in the air. Yeah, there's like maybe 10 left.
I'm gonna try to put another bullet through one of their heads because I'm a sniper and I can shoot one thing at a time.
Okay.
Alright, that's an 11.
Okay. Because you rolled an 11, I'm going to actually let you hit the one that was on the Elcor and through it to another. So 2 of them dropped, leaving 9 left.
Sweet. I'm gonna like pet my sniper rifle. Good girl. Good girl.
The
group of them-
Alcor gives an awkward approximation of a thumbs up.
At this point, however, they're going. You hear a kind of really distressed noise. It's like, what is that sound? And what appears to be a group of Batarians fused together. Where
God!
There's like 3 Batarians per leg, and like a bunch of Batarians as the torso, and 2 Batarians as the arms. It's using their heads as hands, and like its head is a group of Batarians like fused together, comes walking out and makes this noise, which is like all their mouths opening at once and screaming.
How big is it compared to me?
About twice your size, maybe easily 3 times.
Excellent.
I smile when I see this and go,
Good.
I interrupt whatever's happening by like basically doing the whole thing of the fight me again, but like I kind of rear up on my legs, do the whole King Kong pounding my chest thing, and just start taking off towards that thing. I want it to fight me.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That is a 10.
Okay, it does turn its attention to you.
what about the other ones? Are they attacking?
Yeah, they're attacking the Vanguard because he's right there.
Okay.
He
Except
doesn't
for the
have-
floating guys because they can't
Yeah,
do anything.
the floating guys can't do anything. The 9 remaining that aren't floating are trying to beat up on the Vanguard. Oh, and this time, yeah, that's a 10. So they hit. Corey, you would take 4 harm minus your armor. You don't have impervious this round,
Do not know.
so you take 2 harm segments total. Think of it as the bar underneath your character in Mass Effect 3. 2 of them just went out, and you've got 4 left.
I've got a blood red die for that. I'm so content I found that.
5 left because I had 7.
Okay, yeah, 5 left. So you've actually taken a pretty significant beating this time. They're all like, slashing out with their hands. You need to make a body check.
what
Which
is
is different
this,
than a body
hockey?
I didn't hear what you said, Corey.
It's 9.
Yeah, you're all right. You notice that they've like some of that fluid was on their hands, but none of it seems to have gotten into you. Like you don't have any open exposed wounds, and you don't feel like you've been exposed to it.
Good thing.
Good, because I'd hate to have to kill Corey.
But that's their go this round. Top of the order, I'm actually going to let Anne go first because I think I know what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me roll. That was a 12. All 5 of those little boogers that are floating in the air, I'm going to throw them at the big thing.
Okay, as you do that, the singularity detonates.
Yeah.
Because you used throw on targets that were already affected by singularity.
Yep.
The singularity detonates, and since you rolled a 12, it does enough damage to not just take out those 5, but it actually hits the big guy. And you don't know, it doesn't seem to stop it, but several of the fused Batarian bodies fall off of it. It's not enough to
Sweet.
make it fall apart, but it definitely felt that. The shockwave from the singularity detonation does that much damage.
And I take it the 5 are dead.
Oh, they're gone. You don't even
Okay.
see them.
Cool.
But
Is
now,
the biotic energy coming off of that big thing?
nope.
Okay.
It's still suffusing the area around you.
All right. Anyway, that's my move.
Yeah. Now you go ahead and do your adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it's only a 9. So I believe I get
You get the interrupt.
I get the interrupt, but I don't get the second action.
Yeah, you just get one.
Which is fine because my grenade launcher is off of cooldown this turn, so it's getting a grenade launcher into the face.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That is, well, that's a 10 on the dice, plus 3, plus 1, so 14.
Okay, you see several Batarian bodies get blasted and like fall apart. And for a second, before more bodies shift around, you can see there's something glowing inside of it, like a bright glowing light source. And then more of the bodies. It's pretty noticeable.
How far away is this thing from me when I fire?
Have to be about 30 yards.
I charge.
It just came out.
I charge up on it.
Okay, you can reach it.
I'm going to try to hold this thing in place so that it will attack me and everybody else can get shots in on it.
Okay. But yeah, everyone sees it. It's like if you were watching in a video game, you would have seen somebody would have said, "There's a glowing thing." It's one of those things. It was very obvious.
Excited, aim for blue thing.
What's that thing on its chest?
Yeah, that sort of thing. But that's you going. So who wants to go next?
So how far? Because I ran back to the other.
You're like 60 yards away from that thing.
And I don't know how much I can move. I'm sorry.
Basically, you can move whatever is justified for the thing. There's not heavy rules for this.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say you could probably get 40 yards up. I'm not going to let you go 60 in one round, but
that's fine. Then I will do that. I will also have my sentinel Well, first I'm going to move up the 40 yards and then use techno barrier.
Okay.
Let me see what I roll on that. So I got an 8, so that would be 3 allies. So
yeah, pick any 3 people and you can put a barrier around them.
Joe, Corey, and Anne.
Okay.
What does the barrier do? How much harm does it reduce?
Good question. -2.
Ooh, thanks.
I'm at -6 potentially. Sweet. Bring it.
And then I'm going to tell my
Donkey
to go aim its laser at the shiny thing.
Okay. Right now it's covered up again, but you can try.
Well, I failed.
Go and make a check. Okay,
I got 4 again.
Oh yeah, no, the laser goes wild. It scorches like one of the faces of one of the Batarians, which just screams.
I just kind of go like sigh.
Donkey.
Okay. There's 2 of you left. Who's going?
I'm gonna try and snipe it where I saw the blue thing. That's 7.
Okay, you do hit the thing itself. You don't actually you just hit one of the bodies on it and it falls off destroyed, but it doesn't immediately seem to have done much to it. So yeah, that's your go.
The nice thing about sniping from a distance is you usually don't have to deal with the screaming. Ugh.
Yeah, this time there's a lot of screaming going on.
Yeah, seems that way.
But that leaves Corey, your character.
Yeah. Is there any of the little ones left, or is it just the big gun now?
The ones that were still fighting you, there's some of them just got blown up, but there's still a solid
4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5
still
got,
a group of them.
there was 9 before and blew up 5, and then whatever else anybody else took out.
Okay, then I will shotgun the little guys close to me.
Okay.
That is a 6.
Okay, so you hit 1.
8.
An 8. So you hit 2.
Yeah.
Those 2 fall down. Again, destroyed really handily by your shotgun blast, leaving 2 there. And at that point, first up, the Batarian that didn't get grabbed and have an Omni Blade, pointed at him, attempts to shoot, and he will hit Shrek. He just shot you in the back. Because as far as he knows, you're attacking. You've held on Omni Blade to his friend. He doesn't know what's going on. He shot you in the back. Go ahead and make a tech armor roll.
That's gonna be 6. But is there any kind of cooldown on the drone power up?
Yeah, you used him already. He's doing something
okay,
else.
so that's his move. Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to tell him to defend you as his action.
I got a 6. So that no effect.
Okay, so you take 2 harm as you get machine gunned in the back.
Okay.
Reduced by 1 for being a Vorcha.
Okie dokie.
The 2 that are left attacking Corey do so, but do not hit him. The big thing that's attacking Joe...
I interrupt, and before it does that, as it goes to make the attack, since I have the interrupt, and I will light it up with my heavy pistol.
Okay, go ahead.
That is an edge roll, so that's a 9.
Okay, you blow off another chunk of it.
Okay. Now you may go. Sorry.
No, that was it. You interrupt its action, so it doesn't get to take its action. But the other thing that was going to happen does, as the mounds of dead things around it start to twitch, and some of them are twitching and writhing and rolling on the ground, and parts, like all the various parts, like the severed head of one is like biting the dirt to move backwards. One of them is just a mass of like torn up flesh that is like creeping and twitching towards it.
Revelation,
Oh,
destroy
God.
large thing, destroy large thing.
Like this round, none of them get there, but it's clearly calling the various things to it. The ones that were attacking Corey actually turn and begin moving towards it as well.
Okay.
That's their go. And we go to the top of the order.
I am going to... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I was going to suggest you go.
I was going to chum to Adrenaline Rush again.
Go for it.
That's a 12 on the dice, so I'm assuming that goes off pretty well.
Yep, fully accelerated.
So I'm going to take, because I get the two actions. First action is going to be the heavy pistol, to try to take off a few of the bodies to get a closer shot at whatever blue thing is inside of it.
Okay.
That is a 9.
Okay, you successfully destroyed one of the central bodies, and the blue thing is exposed.
And I'm going to try to rip that thing out of it.
Okay, that's a melee, so make a body check.
Yep. I shit you not, that is another 12 on the dice. That is a 16.
Okay. You reach in and grab it. You immediately take 10 harm.
Okay, let me see if I can
Reduced by
reduce it.
6.
Yep.
Possible.
That's a 10 on body, so... Or, well, that's more than a 10 on body, but yeah, so reduced by 6, so I take 4 harm.
Yeah, you take 4 harm as you grab the thing. And you do pull it some of the way out. But it's tethered by a lot of things.
That's fine.
So it doesn't come out this round. However, the noise it makes is indescribable. As not just the thing in front of you, but all the bodies around you, all 1,000 of them, scream.
I very loudly you hear, uncomfortable! Please destroy this blue thing!
Who wants to go next?
As I'm trying to rip it out so you guys can get a clear
Okay.
shot.
So I can see the blue thing, right?
It's quite visible now.
Okay, let me roll. 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to pull the blue thing
Okay.
with my mind.
The screaming around you gets louder. As the biotic field wraps around this thing, you feel a tremendous... It's like pulling on a star. It's just unbelievably difficult to move. You hit it with a very strong biotic field. The screaming becomes even more intense around you. There's now sparks and cracks on that thing. As you yank on it, you hear snapping inside the thing's chest as several of the connecting cables break from the force of your biotic pull. It doesn't move, but there's so much force involved that you feel like you're pulling like an entire like starship with your brain. The biotic field is that strong.
Okay, I clap my hands over my ear holes, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Did I
Yeah.
hear any of that too as another biotic? Do I get any like contact
What do you-
biotic feedback or
What are you asking?
like if Anne is hearing all that stuff, I'm
Oh, no,
also
they're all yelling audibly.
Okay.
They're like everybody can hear them screaming. All these bodies are screaming. They're screaming quite loud.
If it has a head, it's yelling.
Even the parts that are like, there's a torso that doesn't have a head. The torso is convulsing. Like everything is reacting to this. It doesn't require any biotic senses to know that this is happening. Everybody hears it.
I would like to move closer to it. So I'm what is melee range? What is the difference between melee and close range, I guess?
Melee is essentially close.
Okay.
But you could, it's closer, but this game is not exact in that way.
No, that's fine.
You get up to it would take you at this point. You could get close enough to fire a gun at it. You couldn't get close enough to actually physically hit it.
Yeah, because that's what I would like to do. But I would like to try to time it so I shoot it at the same time my drone does its cutty laser thingy. Right. So I'm going to do 2 rolls. First for the shot, and then for the drone. So it's going to be a 10 on the pistol, and then drone is going to be 9.
Okay. Both hit. When the bullet hits it, there's another eruption of power from it, and if it weren't for the techno armor you put up, the techno barrier you put up last round, the Elcor would have taken more damage, but he doesn't. The cutting beam cuts more of the cables. It actually hits the thing, kind of ricochets off, and cuts more of the cables. It doesn't actually seem particularly affected by the cutting laser. But the bullet,
not even the cables getting cut.
the cables getting cut definitely helps it. It pulls further away. Like you see it getting yanked more and more out between the biotic pull, the L-core shear force, and the reduction of cables. It's coming out more, and the screaming. Some of the bodies stop screaming.
Okay, but it didn't look like the shot really. It just
The
ricocheted.
the laser didn't do much. The bullet seemed to do more actual damage to it. There's no
cool.
crack. There's a crack forming it.
Cool. That's my whole turn.
Okay. I believe next up then would be Liz's character.
Rin is going to try to snipe at it.
Okay.
Like I do. That's a 12 on the dice.
Okay, so yeah, this is the part where the crack is forming. Rin looks at it, it does some angles in her head, wind speed, things like that, and just fires. And it seems like she fired in the wrong place. When you see where it hits, it doesn't hit near the crack, and then you see because where she hit, the crack suddenly spreads out across the whole thing and intersects the original crack that was made by the first bullet. And everybody who's within 70 yards of it, so Trek and the L-Core, both of you have to make a body roll for me now.
Oops.
I'm very good at that.
Yeah, I got a 12.
I got an 11 on the dice plus 4, so...
Okay?
Yeah, mine was not a natural 12. I don't know if that matters.
No, it doesn't matter. You get a sense of what's going to happen just fast enough for you to let go.
Okay.
And kind of roll yourself so that you're facing away from it, and you actually roll yourself so that you're like between it and the Vorcha, who also manages to drop down so he's not no part of him is exposed. With tech barrier and your own resilience and your armor, you can absorb the energy of this thing exploding. And
can we say I shield the Vorcha?
Yeah, that's what happens. The explosion is so loud and so bright that nobody can look at it, and the sound is just absolutely deafening. And when it's over, it's completely dissipated. Like the various parts, the various Batarian corpses that were making up its body, it falls apart into them, and there's nothing left. And the pile of dead people is silent. And then you hear moaning from the two remaining Batarians, who are both laying on the ground with their tongues lolling out of their heads.
They look like they wouldn't respond to anything. Is that kind of what I'm getting?
You can go ahead and make an edge check.
So edgy.
Everybody can make an edge check, by the way, not just...
Okay.
You're going to be an 8.
That's also an 8.
Also an 8.
I rolled a 9.
Way to break the chain, Anne.
Yeah, what?
Sorry.
Did you bother to roll
Nerd.
for it?
I got a 4.
Okay, you have no idea what's going on. The three of you that got 8s, after a brief moment of checking, you noticed that their respiration has arrested. But Tiva, you recognize that they've taken what you think is manganese. It's a kind of ore that is toxic to Batarians.
Like they took it?
Yeah, they think you find one of them had a tooth capsule.
Cyanide capsules, basically.
Yeah. They've committed suicide.
Well, we aren't getting any information out of these guys.
Vexed. That would have been easier.
They said they had no idea. No clue. May have
Well,
been
they must
lying.
have had some clue, because I don't think they would have taken... Well, no. Batarian, they probably would have anyway.
One shot me. Must have known its time was short.
You okay?
Fine.
Is everybody else okay?
I look to the L-Core and go,
Thank you. I owe one.
I nod as my health bar refills because combat has ended.
If you have a segment damage, it basically heals up here.
Oh, cool.
Just like Mass Effect.
I read
that's nice.
I read the rule.
That's nice. Okay.
The blood seeps back into my body.
I just
Stops being red around the edges.
There's still something immensely biotic coming from in that building. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's powerful, and it had nothing to do with those things.
I look at everybody, spiteful remark. They were playing with something that they did not understand.
Obviously.
Well, it's something we don't understand.
I don't understand. Yeah.
I don't think we understand it either, so...
I understand that it can be destroyed.
Then we should probably get in there and figure out what the hell that was and what the hell these things are, because if they get out, there's no telling if they just affect Batarians like that. I mean, he bit that guy's face off, and then he turned into. Who knows if that's a Batarian only thing? That's one thing, but if
Corey,
this gets off the planet,
Corey, make a mind check.
4.
You keep thinking you've heard about something like this, but you can't remember what. You're like, what is this? Why is this familiar? But the name Eden Prime comes into your head.
It
Disturbed.
sounds like what happened with Ian Prime. But that wasn't Batarians, that was human.
Disturbed.
that was a long time ago.
Are they attempting to replicate what happened and weaponize it?
Wasn't Eden Prime? Wasn't there technology there?
The Citadel sent you guys the Citadel forces. Corey was the only one who had actually been in the Systems Alliance because he was the only human here.
Right.
What you guys know about it is fairly limited because a lot of it was Spectre involved and they don't share information. But you do know that Eden Prime was attacked by a rogue Spectre named Saren Eris. And when Saren attacked it, he made use of things like called spikes that caused things called husks to grow. And the husks were humans that were drained of all their fluids and filled with some kind of synthetic fluid from the spike that transformed them into monstrosities. No one knew where he got it from. Originally, they thought it was Geth, but then it turned out to not be Geth technology.
Is there anything around that looks like a spike?
You don't see anything like that, but you're not inside.
Wait, how much of that did you say we know?
I didn't hear you, Mitch.
How much of that did you say we actually know?
That's the amount you know.
All of it. Okay.
I point to the facility. If there is a spike, it is likely inside.
This is getting worse and worse. All right, let's go.
Agreed. I start moving forward. Like, I don't even wait. I just start moving towards the facility.
Yeah, I'm with them.
It takes you
follow, but I'm keeping my eyes peeled for more either Batarians or those things.
It takes you about 5 minutes to traverse the distance from the encounter to the actual facility. And when you get to the facility, one of the first things you notice is that the doors have been torn off from the inside and are laying on the ground outside. You think this is how that thing got out.
Be on your guard, guys.
Always. That's never something you want to see when you're trying to infiltrate a facility.
There's a deep green light that keeps pulsating as you step inside. It takes you a second to realize this is the Batarian equivalent of a red alert. The big green light. You think the Batarians actually have a slightly different visual spectrum than others based on their 4 eyes. So green might be the equivalent to red to them for whatever reason.
So does it look like there are any survivors around? Any bodies?
A lot of bodies. Whole lot of bodies.
Are they leaking blue fluid or are they just
The
dead?
bodies you're seeing as you walk in are wearing lab uniforms or wearing armor. They appear to just be dead people. They do not appear to be strangely twisted up or seeping blue-green fluid or any of that.
Kia's going to look around for any kind of like research documents, lab reports, anything of significance.
Well, at first you're basically in the equivalent of an entrance corridor.
Okay.
So you come in. This was the way out. There's 2 guard stations. There's dead guards in them. That's how you guess they're guard stations. There's a series of scanning devices that are currently scanning. As you pass through the scanning devices, they call out in Batarian the weapons you're carrying and such, and flash like these guys are armed, but there's nobody there to stop you. So you
Are there any weapons on the guards?
Yes.
Anything we can use?
Nothing particularly different than what you've got, just Batarian state arms versions.
Okay, never mind then.
Basically rearm on clips if you're worried about that, but we're not really keeping track of that sort of thing, so it doesn't really matter.
I've only got a pistol anyway, and I'm using my brain, so I don't care.
You actually pass through the entrance proper once you get past the security checkpoint. The place under the dome is not full of buildings and structures. It's actually a giant excavation. It looks like a archaeological dig of some sort. There's
This is weird.
machinery, excavation machinery, drills, catwalks that lead down into the earth or into the Kashara, since technically this isn't Earth, but you know what I meant. It's definitely a large dig.
They found something. They found something they weren't supposed to find. And whatever it is responsible for this biotic field that's driving me batty. She
Both
rubs
you-
back of her neck.
Both you and Corey should make mind checks.
Mine is a terrible thing.
8.
10.
Corey, you suddenly have a view of the planet from space. and you'll know when you're looking at it as you're descending, you notice that there are large animals in the air and on the ground, but you don't see any buildings or cities or anything like that. And as you continue to fall, you realize you're not guiding yourself. You're falling faster and faster, and you're starting to heat up. And you feel like a rush of heat on your face as you continue to fall, and then it stops.
That was. I'll stagger a bit, rest against the wall. That was what?
You okay?
Something in this planet just spoke to me, or I saw something from the past, or.
Oh, none of this is good. Can I still sense the biotic presence thing?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, it's much stronger inside the dome.
Which way?
Down?
Down.
Yeah, it's definitely below you.
I'll take point
Down.
and keep moving.
You
Anything that looks like a husk around, or not a husk, spike around here?
You don't see anything like that.
Okay. Let's go down.
Keep moving.
As you guys go down, you have to walk past. There's signs of habitation. There's like tents. Like they're not like tents. They're like prefab dome sleeping pods.
Tab
all over.
cubes.
Yeah, there's places there's several of those. Everything is made in the Batarian style, so it's utilitarian and somewhat brutalist. The Batarian stuff works, but it's not tremendously elegant. It's like imagine the exact opposite of Asari technology, and that's what the Batarian stuff looks like.
Is there anything here that looks like a research facility, or like like they've got it set up for like data or anything like that?
There's several conning towers, and you can tell that people would go up to them and plug in their whatever. If they had an Omni tool or a pad or something, they can go up and plug into it and use them to send a signal out.
But that's it.
Go ahead and make me a presence check.
A presence check? Okay. 10?
After a little searching as you guys head forward, you find one body that is wearing basically a lab coat, the Batarian version, and glasses over two of its four eyes, and it has an obvious implant on its ear, replacing its ear. Whatever this Batarian was, they were old enough to need ear replacement. After a couple minutes, you basically pat them down and find the smashed up remains of an Omni tool and an information pad. The information pad is not Batarian. The information pad on this being is almost certainly Systems Alliance.
Can I read it?
Yeah. It takes you a little bit to just get inside of it because you're not an expert. But after a little bit of fiddling, you get the reports. This thing is a series of... It's a list of various... I'm trying to think of the exact word here. Somebody was attempting to infiltrate Batarian space. They did so, and they discovered a relay that was special and was being primed for use by somebody other than the Batarians. And that relay was with the person in question, a doctor. Some of the data is destroyed, and you're not sure who this doctor was. But the doctor was in contact with an admiral named Hackett. And the last message on it was that Hackett was going to send somebody to investigate. And that's the last thing on this pad. And the smashed Omni tool has been used to access this pad. Like you can see the interface linking between the two devices, and there's a notation in Batarian, which you yourself don't read, but your basic, your Omni tool can translate for you, that they sped up what they were doing here in response to this incursion from the Systems Alliance.
We aren't the first ones from the Alliance to come here. Somebody else came here. Hackett sent somebody here.
Statement.
Actually, no, they didn't. The pad is very clear. The place they sent them was on the other. Is not in this system. It's in another part of Batarian space.
Oh.
But because of that incursion, whatever happened there, and it doesn't say in the pad, that's why this guy's like, I recommend, we accelerate Project Leviathan.
Project Leviathan. Okay. I relay all of that to everybody else. That's all it says. What was Hackett doing, sending somebody in? And when? Does it say when?
What's the Alliance doing?
When this pad is maybe a day or two old.
So this was recent.
What was the Alliance doing in Batarian space in the first place?
That's what I'm wondering.
We can talk and move. Let's keep heading down.
I keep moving as I'm talking, and
I keep the data pad and go with everybody. Yeah.
Why weren't we notified that they would be here?
Statement: likely covert operations, likely operating off of similar intel that we received.
But
We were
You
told
should have told us.
we weren't the first to come here.
Huh.
They didn't specify or make further clarification. That is
Well,
not their fault. It is our fault for not asking clarification.
Kita taps the pad. Well, this is in response to an attack someplace else in Batarian space, not here.
And
But-
I kind of look at her. You think it is not related?
Of course it's related. They sped up things here because of what happened out there.
Of course.
As you guys are, you make it your way to the excavation main hole, and it is a large trench. It's dug in a circular way, so like it goes down and down in a big circle, widening as it goes. And the hole itself has these. The digging has these trenches you can walk down. There's also a lift. The lift itself is massive, and on it is a chunk of something. It's like 20, 30 meters across by 10 meters wide, and it's cobalt and black. And it has the ends of the end where it seems to have been cut with some kind of cutting tool or laser is still somewhat glowing from whenever it was cut, which means,
Glowing blue?
yeah, very much so. And there are like hundreds of small circles within it, like it was cut across, and there's a cross section of these things.
I don't think we want to go near that. I
There
think
any
that
other
might
ways
be
down?
responsible for what happened to the big guy outside.
Everybody take a mind check right now.
Ruh-roh. 11.
12.
When-
Oh, I have -1.
7.
Oh, 10 still.
7.
You all feel like there's a moment of extreme pressure, like your heads are being squeezed, and then it passes. But looking at that thing makes you extremely uncomfortable. You don't know what that was. You don't have any real idea what it is by looking at it. But yeah, it makes you extremely, extremely uncomfortable to look at it. But Rin, you definitely want to go up to it. You want to check this thing out. This could
I
be
think we need to take a closer. I think we need to take a closer look at this thing. I mean, it's clearly something important, or
Can
they
I-
wouldn't have brought it up.
Can I take my giant hand and just wrap it around Rin?
You can put it in front of her. Grabbing her is probably going to cause her to react.
I will, this is abnormal for Rin, who is a long-range specialist, to want to get in close, so I kind of just stop her, and I look at the rest of the group and shake my...
I
But
would
we
like
need it.
to send my little sentinel
We
drone.
need to check this out.
I want to send my drone in and see if I can get closer more comfortably.
Okay. Your drone begins moving forward. Make a tech roll.
7.
As you get closer, something you feel like the various progress bars that tell you how well your drone and you are communicating start going from full to nothing. Two of them drop. The third one is like trying to maintain connection with you.
I bring it back toward me then.
Another tech roll.
9.
Okay, you manage to pull it back, and it takes it until it's literally in your presence for your 3 contact bars to come back up.
Drone cannot get close.
However, you did notice that it's emitting it's emitting a ton of electromagnetic radiation.
High
Rin would like to.
electromagnetic radiation.
Rin would like to see if she can scan with her Omni tool and see if there's, because we need to know more about this, and everyone's being so weird about not just wanting to
What
go up
is
to it, which is
wrong?
obviously the
Go
best
ahead, Rin.
idea.
Go ahead and make the scan. That's going to be it's interacting with your environment, so that's going to be tech in this case.
That's just a 5.
You get this. Since he already mentioned it, you get the EMP radiation, which does make you not want to go near it because your suit is technological, and you don't want it to blow your suit seal or do anything like that. There's a lot of radiation coming off of it. Not strictly speaking, not like alpha or beta particles or gamma particles. It's like electromagnetic energy. It's like it's charged.
Hmm.
I want to look at
Still
it, but I
want to
also
get
don't
close.
want to look at it. Yes, but also
Can-
that's a really bad idea, I think. But
Inquisitive
this is
statement.
clearly key.
Can we ground or remove the charge?
How do
said,
we
is
get
it
close?
Is it sitting on a lift?
Yeah, it's sitting on a lift, a very large lift because it's a massive thing.
Does the lift have a back to it?
It's literally like a metal platform on a track system that's built right into the wall of this thing. It's not like an elevator with like walls. It's literally you just go stand on the platform and then the platform will go up and down. It's like Black Rock Descent when you know the elevator that kills you.
Mm.
It's like it is just no safety requirements at all on this thing. You could just step right off and fall.
Is there a big drop on the other side of it?
That is correct.
What if we push that thing off of there? I could do it. I could try.
Again, it's 30,
Well, we don't know
30 meters across. It is. If you will need to roll above a 10 to push that thing.
Can I... You know what? Can we combine our efforts into essentially a combination attack where if she's doing the push, I can maybe try
It'd be
to
a
ricochet...
fail, but yeah.
But I could try to ricochet or use the concussive blast from my grenade launcher to augment it. Maybe weaken the other side so that the platform tilts in the direction she wants to push it, so that it gives a little bit of a bonus.
I mean, firing something like a munition at it is not likely to do much. It's massive.
I'm not worried about it, the platform that it's on, if there's going to be a support structure.
You
You
could destroy the platform if you want to, but if you do that, then the platform is not going to be there for you to use.
I just want to move the rock off of the platform. That was
Rock,
my thing.
It's you as you look at it, it looks vaguely metallic, but it is moving.
What is that thing? It's moving.
It's like pulsating.
What's it
And
shaped like again?
When it pulsates, the electromagnetic energy expands off of it.
What's it shaped like again?
It's basically starts off at a point and then moves down and expands like a cone. And then when it gets to a certain point, it stops expanding and then goes back like a cylinder before it starts to shrink slightly, and then it's cut with some kind of, you don't know what cut it.
I look at everybody else. Spike?
Think?
Much larger than anything that you heard of from Eden Prime.
Okay, does it look like we could? So what happens if we shoot or destroy the platform that it's on? Like, would it like plummet?
Yeah, it would fall.
But then we wouldn't. As stated, we wouldn't be able.
You wouldn't be able to get down, yeah?
Ah,
Does it look like there are any other ways down? Like, could we climb down? Was there
Likely
any
could.
scaffolding?
There's an excavation track that winds its way down in like a spiral. It's kind of like a switchback in a mountain. You could take that down. You don't know how deep this is. You don't know how long
And it
that
would be.
And then you would also have
And it
to.
would be. And it.
You would need to be able to get back up, and it would take the same amount of time to get back up. So if you were underground and you pushed the button, you would have absolutely no chance of getting to the surface in time.
I'll look at Anne's character.
Kita.
Make the push.
I can try. It's really big. I've never tried moving anything that large before.
Encouragement. I believe you can do this.
Okay. Here goes nothing.
and does this look like the zombie things from outside at all? Like,
No.
so
It's got blue light coming out of it.
does it
At the end where it's cut.
does it look like something I could try hacking?
You can make the attempt.
I will make the attempt before you guys push that off then.
Okay, you make the attempt and then I'll try.
So when you say, or the sheet rather says can add edge and tech, does that mean I get to add both?
Does it say the specific circumstance of that?
The Vortex Sentinel can add edge and tech to their roles to infiltrate enemy technology like drones, mechs, geth platforms.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it's that would have been a 9.
The edge and tech both added?
Yes.
All right. You try to reach out to it. It doesn't have anything you'd normally recognize as an infiltrate. It doesn't like have the usual method of coming in, but it is broadcasting, so you feel like it's got to have something. You spend a couple minutes trying to probe around it, and then it's like it notices you and it extends a fairly standard Citadel interface prompt. You then use that to backdoor your way in, and that's when you start seeing the ground rushing up at you at high speeds, and you're on fire. And then you hit the ground hard, and there's an explosion of pumice and rock as you bury yourself deeper and deeper before you finally come to a stop. And then you're out. It's like that's all you could get, and then it like basically throws you out.
I'm gonna convey to the group everything that I experienced.
As you're telling them what you just saw, it pulsates and twitches and gives off a very high EMP burst. Not enough to like. It's not an actual like It's not enough to like destroy your systems or anything, but it's significant, and it floats off of the platform and floats out to the center, and then turns so that the point is down.
Not on
pointing
not on
down.
platform anymore.
It's pointing down, but it's also pointing slightly to the side.
Can I walk up to the edge now, or would I
Yeah.
be close?
It's like this hole is at least like 200 meters across, and that thing is floating out in the middle of it about 100 meters. So it's not close to
see
you.
if I can see where it's pointing.
Way too deep down there. It's not lit. It's very dark.
I can't.
Trepidation. This is not normal.
I can't like do mind reading or anything like that, can I? That's not
no.
okay.
But
Or like
since you brought that
telepathy
up,
or anything like that.
you definitely feel the biotic field around you.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could try talking to the rock.
Such no.
Okay.
But it's descending now.
Follow.
Yeah, let's go.
Must move fast.
Okay, you engage the lift, and like I said, it doesn't have any kind of security things on it at all. It's just a big 20 by 20 foot platform of metal. As it descends, it's a bit of a jolt. It's pretty quick. It's quicker than the Citadel elevators for sure. The Batarians apparently took seriously the update to elevator speed. As you're going down, you see there's stuff in the walls occasionally. Like there's what looks to be fossils of ancient animals, probably native to Karshara. You get deeper than that though, and there's nothing. And finally, you reach the bottom, and there's not a lot of light, just the light coming from above. There's no lights down here, but more accurately, there are lights down here, but they're not lit. The place has been set up to perform